All right, we're gonna start it out. Top of the morning to all y'all. OG Kicks, you don't go to sleep, B. I like that. I like that. I like that. OG Kicks, do not go to sleep. He like, I'm on deck all the time. Bro, that's what's up. What's going on, y'all? Top of the morning to y'all. I said, I ain't give y'all a show. I ain't even gonna hold you. I got home last night. I ate. Got an interesting story though. Before I even start the story, I think I missed out yesterday with this shorty. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I blame myself. But I was in the grocery store yesterday. Y'all remember last? That's why I left off. I went to the grocery store, and first of all, I was rushing to the grocery store thinking they closed at 6. They actually ain't closed to 9. You know what I'm saying? But it was a good thing. So I'm in the aisle. I'm moving the scooting. It's bad packed in there, and I see this, and I hope you hear this. This is why I'm saying it. I see this pretty Ethiopian woman. I mean, she is beautiful. And it's not hard to tell she's Ethiopian. This square jaw, this is very, very, very pretty. And she had like long hair, it's about right here. But there was no ifs, ands, or buts about whether or not what she was. And so she looked very ethnic, that's what I mean. But at the same time, she had like an American flair to her, if that makes any sense. So I go up the aisle or whatever, whatever. I know she see what's going on, Lady Sparkle. I know she see me behind her. I know she see me behind her. If she didn't see me behind her, she heard the raggedy ass shopping cart. So I'm pushing, I'm behind her, and I get to like where you can turn, like where it comes into another aisle, you can go left or right. And so she did this quick stuff and she put the basket in front of me. And at first, I swear to God, I was gonna be like, "You mother," hey, you know what I'm saying? This is me. But something caught me and said, "Don't do that." So I didn't do that. Instead, I just stood there and I wanted to see what she was doing. So she got off the basket, left the basket there, and I didn't realize it. And this is why I messed up. She did that because she wanted my attention. And I'm like, she finally turned around and she had this beautiful face. She turns around, she says, "Oh, I'm sorry." She was all but a lady. You understand what I'm saying? Everything but a lady. I can't say nothing bad about this woman. I'm like, damn, man, why did I just walk off? So I seen her 3 more times, maybe 4 more times at the grocery store. We sitting there for the better worse of words, I fucking each other. And I know we could have probably been. So to that shorty that see me, that ain't the first time I see you at that grocery store. I'm gonna be looking for you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna start going to that grocery store a little bit more often because wow, she was really pretty, and I gotta get myself out of this thing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna start the show in a minute, but I like to have these little conversations. I gotta get myself out of this thing where I'm not openly going after women. Let me tell you what I mean by that. A lot of men, including myself, are scared to approach women nowadays. You can't do it even the way you did it like 5 years ago. You feel me? Because there's so many things going on in the world, and this whole Diddy trial, it kind of made me like that too. You know what I'm saying? Seeing some of the actions and responses from women before the trial ended, before the trial started, and because I was there in person, it's on the channel. You know what I mean? Um, it makes men kind of an edge to talk to women in social settings. You understand what I'm saying? Not because you're gonna get told no or something like that. It's just the fact. Like if you tell me no, and I've never had girls tell me no before, you just walk off. Like, all right, nice meeting you, all right, peace. You know what I mean? Like I keep it like that. But sometimes with some of the girls it can turn into something funny. You know what I mean? We all know that. Sometimes with the girls, they can go a little overboard. Yo, fuck, especially in New York City. Try to stay here. Yo, fuck you, nigga. That ain't your mother. Yeah, go. If you've been in this, you around here. So here's what it is. But to that shorty, yesterday at the grocery store, I hope I see you. Not shorty, you a grown woman. But to that woman that I saw yesterday, I hope I see you again. You look beautiful in that emerald colored dress you had on. And that's all I'd like to say. You know what I'm saying? Shout to the Cove. Anyway, I want to start here. The woman you see in that picture, that's on my channel right now. Her name is Viola. And yesterday I had a little diatribe, not only about, I forgot to turn the light on, sorry, y'all. I had a little diatribe yesterday about her her passing. This woman was 111 years old. Um, she died just a couple of days ago, right before Thanksgiving. She was a Tulsa, Oklahoma survivor. And many of y'all have heard Tulsa, Oklahoma come up many of times in these diatribes, things like that. And you said to yourself, what is Tulsa, Oklahoma? I've had people ask me that. It was a functioning all black town. They had a black bank, black doctors, everything. It was just at the wrong time period. Sad enough to say. Something had happened at one of the stores, and I forgot exactly how the story went, but it caused outrage, and I believe it was at one of the department stores, something of the measure. Men and women decided to get into, and I had to say it the way I say it, white men and women. This is historical fact. This is something that the state of Oklahoma, right before this woman died, had hearings on. So this is something that's statewide recognized by them. I just want to make sure I emphasize that, because a lot of times these stories, they get turned into, oh, that's a fable. That didn't really happen. No, you can go to Oklahoma right now, specifically Tulsa, Oklahoma. They have plaques about it. They have exhibits about it when they talk about it and everything else. This really happened. So these people decided to get in their cars, some of them. Some of them had crop duster planes. That's basically what they were. And they dropped bombs and everything else as they flew over this town. They killed women, children. This is very rarely mentioned. Um, and of course, they had another entourage that came in the cars and bats and everything else. And they destroyed this town. In today's time, they couldn't have did that. Well, at that time, they did. Because we went right back to their town with a couple of the fellas. That's why I always tell you, keep your warriors. Y'all got this new thing where y'all shaming tough guys and whatever you want to call it, or guys that do something to you. Very big mistake, because your opposition, they won't do that to theirs. Oh, no, they hold up high their warriors. You make sure you hold up high yours. No kingdom can exist without warriors. Tell me a dynasty that has existed without warriors. Okay. So there was no retaliation, unfortunately. And there were 3 kids that were at that time. There was 3 of them. They're now amongst the oldest survivors. And Viola, she was one of them. And bless her heart. And she passed away the other day at 111 years old. And I said to myself, there's not enough. See, I want to talk about this before I talk about Puff or anything else. You understand what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me put her picture up here. Yeah, before we talk about Puff, we're going to talk about that. If y'all can't pay homage to this woman, then I want y'all to do me one quick favor. I don't never, ever want to hear you mention Tulsa, Oklahoma out your vocabulary ever again or in any of your podcasts. And I feel like if you can't pay homage to Miss Viola, I feel that we should have an open policy to beat your motherfucking head in if you don't represent this woman. You a fraud. And that's one of the biggest problems I have on here. Niggas want to pimp names, want to pimp situations for cash apps, for gain, and everything else. But when it comes time to when you motherfuckers got to kick in, you don't want to say nothing. And there wasn't enough homage put to this woman. This woman was 103 years old. At the age of 109, she was testifying in front of the state assembly up there in Oklahoma on behalf of what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What was Tariq Nasheed? Was he at that hearing? Was Umar Johnson at that hearing? Huh? Was any of these other framed, proud black leaders, were they at the meetings? I think not. I think not, because I didn't hear a word about them being there. Following me now? So it comes to a point where we have to start. Look, I'm just looking up something. We have to start looking up something that a lot of y'all didn't want to look up. Y'all still have to look up the point that a lot of these people that have claimed that they're leaders, they are failing. And they're failing at a time where it can't be allowed. Because at one moment that we need everybody on this one. And the point is, you're about to come to war sooner or later. You're going to have to get in the streets and you're going to have to fight. I'll let that sit with you for a minute. I know you think, no, we won't. No, we won't. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. As you're sitting back and you're and this is why I tell you, you got to stop trying to demonize your warrior class. We got a nerd class that's trying to demonize the warrior class, and that doesn't work. You understand what I'm saying? You're a nerd for a reason. I'll give you an example. Even during the Egyptians and the king had people that basically serviced him not in the fact sexually, serviced him in the fact as a consigliere, counseled him in the fact of someone that was a spiritual advisor, counseled him in the fact of someone that knew alchemy, and so on and so on and so forth. There was always positions and class of these people because even the people that worked for them had their own classes of people that followed under them. This is the way it has always been. This is the authentic order that you have to have if you want a kingdom. I see a lot of y'all want to skip the rules and be like, nah, we just have a whole bunch of chiefs. We don't need no Indians. We'll put our collective minds together. And collective mind is even used in the collective hive mind, if you want to say, is used in battle. But when you're talking about one person executing those plays, it's always just one. See, that's why you got football, leagues. They got one coach. Basketball leagues got one coach. Now he might have consigliaries that come around him and say, "Hey, I think this might be a good move, coach. This might be a good move." But ultimately, you got one coach. All you motherfuckers want to be chiefs, and that's the problem because the ones that they want to be chiefs are really nerds, ain't you? It was just this. Let me just say this before I keep going on about this Tulsa, Oklahoma thing. There was this brief point about 8 years ago, and now when I reached back, I remember even Dame Dash got himself involved. And remember that little thing when he was doing when he was wearing shorts and a shirt with the tie and trying to look kind of a little grunge or whatever. Shout out to Dame Dash. He said, "This is the look now. This is where people were going." He didn't know what hotel went into it. It was a time in this world when we used to call people by who they were. You're a shyster. You're a nerd. You're a jock. You're this. You're that. You're this. And we gave them these labels because of the pure simple fact, not to embarrass them, but to let them know where they sat in the court. You see what I'm saying? So, for example, at the lunch table, the nerds would sit with the cool kids. The cool kids wouldn't sit with the athletes. The athletes, in turn, wouldn't sit with the girls who wore the cheerleading team, etc., etc., etc. Everybody had an order. When you get into an order of everybody's the same. When you get into that shit, that's when everything gets confusing. Because then you got a whole bunch of people trying to fight for what they once had, which was our identity. If you really look in the grips and grasp of all this stuff here, it's what people are looking for, an identity. So if you had an identity, you knew to go sit at the table with the nerds. You knew to go sit at the table with the jocks. You knew to go sit with the people that was accolades or whatever. You know why you knew? Because there was a place given for that, and it was bright. See, now you got people running around. They all trying to find a table to sit at the lunch table, but can't find one because they're not openly announced. They don't know where to fit in. So you got a lot of confused people running around, especially on the internet, that will lead you to stories of everything you need to hear because this algorithm dictates that they do that. But in reality, in their heart of hearts, the stuff that I talk about, that's really what they should be talking about. And that's why I keep telling y'all, and I keep telling y'all over and over again, y'all got to stop this hustle of what y'all just doing what the algorithm wants y'all to do. I saw more people talking about Puff in this documentary than they were talking about Miss Viola right here. Wasn't she a beautiful woman? I want y'all to set y'all eyes on her for a minute. She was a beautiful woman. And she looked quite similar here in her last days. I'm going to read a piece about her in a minute, but I just want y'all faces to gaze on this woman who was a child when the Oklahoma massacre, Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre happened. And she witnessed it and survived to be 111 years old. And I think we can get more likes in here from Miss Viola. But if y'all don't understand that too, like I said, there's a lot of people out here to front like they all with this togetherness. Ain't no togetherness. We're gonna start calling it for what it is. We got clicks and crews. Clicks and crews. That's what we got. And don't you forget it. Let me read this real quick for y'all. Her real name was Viola Floyd Fletcher. Okay, Viola Floyd Fletcher. I want y'all to know that. And like I said, this one was 111 years old. Viola Floyd Fletcher, oldest survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre, dies at age 111. Viola Floyd Fletcher, the oldest known survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre, has died at age 111. The city mayor announced on Monday. The mayor announced this. Um, Miss Fletcher was 7 years old in the spring of 1921 when a white mob attacked Greenwood, a thriving black neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Estimated 300 residents died of the violence. Now, once again, I said this is state recognized, and you do notice that it was actually the governor who read her death, just to put that in intonation. She and others survivors spent their later years campaigning for official recognition. She and other survivors spent their later years, meaning the tail end of their life, campaigning for official recognition on the atrocity and seeking reparations. But their lawsuit was dismissed by the state Supreme Court. Remember, I told y'all that they had went in front of where was Tyreek? Where was Umar? Where was Brother Polite? What was all these people when as y'all like to say, Queen Mother, when Queen Mother needed you right here? What was y'all at? Oh, y'all, I forgot. Y'all was busy on here on YouTube. I got you. I'm sorry, my fault. She and other survivors spent later years campaigning for official recognition of the atrocity and is seeking reparations. But their lawsuit was dismissed by the state Supreme Court. Mayor Monroe Nichols described Miss Fletcher's life as a lightened path forward with purpose. The last known remaining survivor of the massacre is 111-year-old Leslie Benefield Randall. Now she's the last one. Isn't it amazing how people just they tap in that? They don't care nothing about these people. That's why I started right here. They came here to listen about Puff. They don't even care nothing about this woman. The Tulsa race massacre, keep going on though, anyway. Keep going on anyway, because you know what? I know this was what's right. If you don't like it, you can leave. The Tulsa race massacre, which took place between May 31st and the 1st of June 1921, is regarded as one of the worst episodes of racial violence in U.S. history. It is sparked by the accusation that a black teenager, Dick Rowland, had assaulted a white woman in a lift. I told y'all it was about something that happened downtown or something like that. Um, thank you very much for telling people to hit the like button. But let me tell you the truth. There's somebody in here right now. They don't even care what I'm talking about. They just care about the fact that they want to stop the channel. So as I'm sitting here reading this, they're sitting here flagging my channel. And I have to say, you are literally a tool for white supremacy. You understand? And let me tell you, let me even go further. Anybody who wants to sit around and somebody that looks like you and you want to prounce on them, but you don't want to prounce on anybody white, you are, I will even go further to say you are a fucking coward. You understand what I'm saying? You are the punkest of punkest cowards. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, I have this thing that goes on, and we've seen examples of it a couple of times or whatever. This is what I'll be talking about. I'm gonna get back to Miss Viola in a minute, but this goes in contention what I'm talking about. As I'm sitting here talking about, I'm watching the view count or whatever, whatever, and there's people coming in, and as I'm talking about this great woman that lived to be 111 years old, there's actually people in here that don't want to hit the like button. There's going to be actually people in here that's going to flag the page, even though I'm talking about a black woman. There's people because it's me talking about it. You understand what I'm saying? Not them. So they didn't choose to talk about it on their page. No, they wanted to talk about Pup. They didn't choose to talk about it on their page. No, they wanted to talk about 50 Cent's document. I want you to understand the mentality of these robot motherfuckers. They didn't want to talk about any of that. But as soon as they hear me talking about it, they want to come over here and start flagging the page. That's a coward. And what y'all need to start doing, these coward motherfuckers, y'all need to start calling them out in the culture. And I don't know why y'all won't do it. You understand what I'm saying? Because some of these motherfuckers need to be dragged in the middle of the street and have the fucking brakes beat off of them for their behavior. The Tulsa Race Massacre, which took place the 31st of May and the 1st of June 1921, is regarded as one of the worst episodes of racial violence in U.S. history. It was sparked by the accusation that a black teenager, Dick Rowland, had assaulted a white woman in a lift. According to the 2025 U.S. Justice Department review, a local newspaper sensationalized the story, prompting a white mob to gather outside the courthouse and demand Rowland's lynching. Now, this happened, believe it or not, by sensationalization. Remember I always tell y'all about that? Sensationalizing the story? The local newspaper, which was the media then. Are y'all following me here? Only small people will get me. But the statue of media back then, which was a newspaper, actually ignited this. Now, what they should have done was they should have, whoever bought that newspaper, let me tell you what y'all do. Whoever bought that newspaper, because somebody bought it, or whoever the company, even if they just bought the name, because a lot of times if you buy these companies, they'll change the name. Even if they bought the name, they're responsible. Go after them. Try it. Black men from Greenwood came to the courthouse to protect Rowland, the review said. The white mob saw this as an effort to save Rowland as a challenge to the social order and quickly recruited others. So they went down there and snatched him out the jail. The mob grew, a competition broke out, and when someone fired a shot, all hell broke loose. Greenwood, widely known as Black Wall Street. See, everybody always calls it Black Wall Street. It's really called Greenwood, Oklahoma. So make sure you make that correction. Because so many people say Black Wall Street, Black Wall Street. I'm surprised none of these pro-black motherfuckers are even talking about this. Pay attention. Like, what's wrong with y'all? They're hustling y'all for money, bro. They hustling y'all for money. And then when I talk about it, the reaction they give, instead of, disproving me or something, let's go over there and flag his channel like a bunch of bitches. Like a bunch of bitches. You over here flagging somebody's page early in the morning. That's crazy. Something even worse than this massacre happened to black people in this country. Something even worse than this massacre happened to black people in this country. Okay, so Ned Double, please enlighten me. I want to hear what that is. What is that? What's worse than the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre? Now he's gonna try to deduce it. Watch this. What's worse? Go ahead. You wrote that, so I want to hear what's worse. Go ahead. Hurry up too. What's worse? He said something worse. Ned, you got 5 minutes to tell us what's worse. Rap music and R&B is worse than the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre. This nigga just said that hip hop and rap and R&B music. Ned, I already know you're white. That's definite. Hip hop and rap. In India, they have a huge fan base for what you call Bollywood, right? Also in India, if many of y'all don't know, and along with the Bangladesh, you have one of the highest sexual assault rates in the whole entire country. World. Let me give you an example. I read a story, and many of y'all remember me talking about it. And I talked about it during the Diddy trial. And I was talking about it in reference to Judge Sambaranian at the time, who was Indian. A lot of people don't know Judge Sambaranian's story. But his parents were fleeing from Idi Amin, believe it or not. I'm pretty sure if you ask Judge Sambaranian this, he'll answer that. He's probably going to figure out, how the fuck did I know that? Well, it's my job. I know a lot of things. I've always known a lot of things. And I don't need to Google them because I come from a time before Google. So it's always been my job to know things. It's kind of like my little thing. So, and not in the degree that you know things. Let me emphasize that. Not this YouTube form of knowing things. I'm not that way. Anyway, Judge Sambaranian's parents, along with Judge Sambaranian, who was Puff's judge, they were actually fleeing Africa from Idi Amin in Ghana. They got to America, and first they went to Canada, then somehow or another they got to America. But they were fleeing atrocities. In India, where Judge Sambaranian was from, or his dynasty DNA anyway. And this is not an odd thing. A lot of Indians, they live all across the world. Indians and Asians tend to go and settle down where there's business. That's how they think. And Africans as well. They'll go to Geneva, they'll go to Norway, they'll go to France, they'll go to Germany. This is their places usually they go. But anyway, long story short, Judge Samaranian, he ended up being a judge and everything like that. We know that or whatever. But has the sexual assaults and things of that measure stopped in India? No, they haven't. They increased. I told about one story where two Brazilian campers were camping from South India to North India. They were two Brazilians. They were a married couple. They snuck into their tent sometime at night, held a instrument. I'm gonna say it like that for the sake of held it to the man's neck, and six men, I believe it was, subsequently had their way with his wife and made him watch. Go look up right now sexual assaults in India. It'll blow your mind. So when I hear somebody come in here and they say rap music and R&B have tilted in making America worse or somehow attributing to violence, I could see somewhat, yeah. But poverty is a see. This is the thing about poverty. Anywhere you go in the world, and Czechoslovakia and Prague and a lot of these different countries, they're an example of that. Anywhere you go and you have clusters of poverty, then you're always going to have violence. You understand what I'm saying? I found it insulting that Ned came in here and he tried to deduce the conversation I was having about this 111-year-old woman. You understand what I'm saying? Who lived through this atrocity and was 7 years old when this happened. And see, this is happens when you negate Black Americans, when you negate to speak up for your own. You allow others to come in and deduce them as well. This is what happens, Black women, when you sit online and talk down about your men. You allow other motherfuckers to come in and talk down upon your men as well. See, yeah, you'll get it one day. Anyway, long story short, psychology is a thing to know. Ned, I'm going to say from the bottom of my heart, first of all, for making that statement and trying to deduce what happened when these white folks, and what you really meant to do was to try to confuse these people because you knew I was hitting them something on point. See, Ned, something you don't understand is I live here in the great state of Connecticut, which 37% of my population here in the state is Italian American. So go bonfagul, go fuck yourself, first of all. Second of all, for interrupting me, you motherfucker. Second of all, you were trying to take a shot at Black people again, just like that white mob did when they tore down that motherfucking what's the name. You think I missed past that too? So two times, fuck you and fuck everybody else in your house. Number three, Ned. You understand? Is Ned? Is it? Is it Ned? Ned. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, you are one of the new covert races they have out here. So you join little groups like Black Fatigue and things of that nature, don't you? Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. It's going to get you nowhere. But you know what I'm going to start doing then? I see, they don't know how to point you out because many of them, they grew up urban for the most part. I didn't grow up urban. You understand what I'm saying? I kind of segue into urban. Now, my grandfather and all of them, they grew up urban. So we always had the urban influence there. You know what I mean? And I'll say this to you, Ned. I'm going to put them on to something on how to deal with motherfuckers like you. And all of them may not get it. They all may not get it. They all may not get it. But it's going to be some that do get it. And they're going to come for your ass, Ned. Because I'm going to teach these kids something that you would never teach them. It's how to beat you. And it's very easy. See, the first thing I go on people like you, Ned, you're scared of me. Yes, you are, bitch. Shut up. You're scared of me. And see, the only thing is, people that look like me, they want to be docile to people like you. Yeah, you know, there's a group that will sit out there and be like, Ned's right. Rap music and R&B all worse than the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre. Y'all just give me 5 seconds. I want to deal with this motherfucking poor white trash real quick. For you to sit there and say that rap and R&B music, yeah, you better float the fuck up out of here, you poor white trash motherfucker. Shut up, Ned. Shut up, Ned. Shut up, Ned. I don't want to have a discussion with you, you cocksucker motherfucker. Fuck you. Fuck you, Ned. I don't give a fuck about what you got to talk about. Sit back and shut the fuck up. Put your quiet voice on. Now you want to have a conversation. Nah, motherfucker. You want to throw insults. I'm going to insult you. You ain't going to address nothing, bitch. That's the whole point. You ain't going to address nothing. Now shut the fuck up. I don't want to have no debate with no motherfucking man. Where's your family at, bitch? Let's start there. Where your family at? You up at 7 o'clock in the morning trying to deduce a 111-year-old woman. There's a special place in hell for motherfuckers like you, Ned. Now let me tell you what Ned doesn't want me to tell you guys. Ned is one of these articulate debaters online. Yeah, see that? I grew it right out of you. See, Ned, you're not as smart as you thought you were, did you? Ned, I just told the people, y'all, rewind. Didn't I just tell y'all? Ned's one of those type of guys that'll be in those black fatigue posts. Look what he wrote. Fatigue. I can't even see you. You have a color as an emoji. Ned, how did I know what you were? Because I grew up around people like you, man. And people like you, see, let me tell you about people like Ned. Ned's actually part of a allergy that's poor white trash. His DNA is poor white trash. His DNA, his social structure, and amongst other whites that are opulent, like in the area I live in Connecticut, Ned can't fit into those corridors. So what Ned does is what poor white men in this country have always done. They either one of three things. They find a rich white woman to marry, that's a widow. Still keeps you in the oligarchy of being poor white trash. Or either two, and I'm not talking about good upstanding white folks. No, we're talking about poor white trash. White folks don't even like poor white trash. I have tons of Italian, Greek, Jewish friends. Trust me on this. White folks look at poor white trash worse than they look at niggas. And this is what I'm trying to get past to niggas. Now, I didn't know anything about Ned, never talked to Ned a day in my life. But then I just tell you, I said, Ned's the type to be in black fatigue posts. How did I know that? Maybe I should start paying attention to me. Yeah? Ned's the type that will never fit in. That's why I knew it was a white folks, because even niggas, if they ain't got a dime to throw to you, even if they don't like what you're talking about, even if they don't care, on subjects like this, they'll shut the fuck up. Only somebody who's opposed would interrupt. Now you poor white trash. I don't want your salutations. I don't want your apologies. I don't want any of that. I want you to fuck over and die. Now, I know what I'm saying about Ned. Ned is it? Ned is a type of poor white trash out here that doesn't fit in the corridors of opulent white people. He never will. He's what you call an unaccomplished white man. Now, unaccomplished white men, we have plenty of them here in the state of Connecticut. Well, there's a lot of them. Unaccomplished white man will be 70-something years old, have a suit on, and he'll go into an all-black neighborhood. I see this all the time sometimes when I'm in Harlem and in the Bronx. That's how you know you're seeing a unsuccessful white man. They'll usually be around the ages of 55, 65, 75 years old. They'll go put on a suit, and they'll go into an all-black neighborhood, and they'll roam around. The respect they can't get in their own community and the attention they can't give in their own community, then niggas will give to them and boost their ego. As they boost their ego and see that they're not only accepted, but they're almost embraced in some of these neighborhoods. Not only are they respected, but if you bump into one of them, they'll say to you as a black person or a Latin person, hey, nigga, what you doing? They'll bump into somebody white in Harlem and say, excuse me, sir. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry, chief. It's a condition that goes back 300, 400 years of this mentality. It's got to break. And the people keep pulling it out and telling people you should do more subservientism and you should be more subservient. We should go back to being subservient because subservient will get you jobs and shit. Create your own jobs. Goodbye. Don't talk about Jesus now. Don't talk about Jesus. You just talked about black fatigue. Let me tell you something. Y'all excuse me 1 second. I'm about to go off, okay? Y'all don't like that type of shit, y'all can leave. Let me tell you something, Dad. There's always a special place in hell for motherfuckers like you. You know that? You're what you call a hypocrite. And you want to talk about Jesus? Let's talk about Jesus. Jesus would never, and I want to emphasize never, would tell you to come here with your kind Christian white heart early in the morning. This is how he thinks of himself. I'm not saying that to white people. So all my white fans and all my white subscribers, y'all stay here. I'm talking to y'all poor white trash. Just like our niggas and specs, okay? This y'all poor white trash, okay? So let me talk to Ned. You know what I'm saying? First of all, his name is Ned. Anyway, Ned is it? Anyway, Ned in the chat. Everybody say hi to Ned. Hi, Ned. Anyway, listen, right? Ned, I've already called you out with the black fatigue shit before you even wrote it. Number two, you come in here and there's another point of trying to be, I guess, insulting. You start trying to deduce me. God bless you, sir. You're not a Christian. And there's how the little niggas on the bikes run around. You heathens. Let me get on my bicycle with my Mormon brothers and my Christian brothers and ride around the nigger neighborhoods and make sure that they are right. Let me bring the niggas over to Jesus. No, y'all motherfuckers the first ones going to hell. That's what y'all don't understand. You never understood that, did you? Even when you were sitting on the plantations reading to them and making them go to church on Sunday, y'all never realized the motherfuckers that were invoked in slavery. No, you were the worst of the worst. You were the first ones going on to hell. The people that tried to say something insulting about a group of people, you just said black fatigue, which is what's the name that you wrote? Oh, you didn't write that? He said he didn't. That's not what he wrote. He wrote fatigue. Everybody see that right there? I see it. Everybody see that right there? Now you're insulting me for what? Fatigue. That's what you wrote, motherfucker. Here. Matter of fact, Ned, I'm glad you said that. You didn't write that. Poor white trash like you always say shit like that. You know, poor white trash, their manipulation skills are basically a low that is lower than low. They always have. And if you're stupid and you're around poor white trash, or they're always expecting that you didn't grow up with them, so you don't know their tricks. Oh, I know your tricks, Ned, and you're at the low bottom barrel of tricks. I'm going to put that up for my crowd later on so you can say that you didn't say that. Ned said that I said, now Ned said that I'm a liar. Ned, you didn't say that? This is what Ned said. I want you guys to just zoom back because Ned says I'm a liar. So you got to watch for that too. That's another thing that poor white trash do. Let me give y'all poor white trash update. So poor white trash, what they'll do is they'll say something insulting to you, and then when you fire back at them, then they'll start making up things. And the one thing they always go to, not white people, stand up white folks, but poor white trash, the one thing they always go back to is, you lied on me. I lied on you. This is what Ned said in the chat room, and guys, you can go see it for yourself. And in case he tries to remove it, I took a screenshot of it. I'm trying to have a conversation and you didn't even address anything I said. Why the fuck would I address anything you said when you interrupted me talking about a 111-year-old black woman, you narcissistic motherfucker? Fuck what you said. Fuck what you said. How about that? And you interrupted me before I started talking about India. So shut the fuck up. You brought up India. Now you're insulting me for what? Then he says, fatigue, right after that. That meant black fatigue. Now, number one, you insinuated that I was fully black American and yo soy un negrito, tú sabes. Yo soy español ahí, tú sabes, un claro que sí. Vaya a mi gente ahí, la negro americano, tú sabes. Tú eres un indio. Tú eres no blanco, indio. Está bien, está bien, está bien, está bien. La indio, la gente la indio. Then what did you mean by fatigue? You got 2 seconds. Come on. What did you mean by fatigue? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Get clever now. Get clever with your lie. Come on. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And yet, Ned, you still didn't give definition of what you were talking about. Now you're trying to insult me for complaining. But you know the one thing that sticks out, Ned? You interrupted me talking about a 111-year-old woman. You walked into my chat room and insulted not only me, or attempted to assault me, but insulted everybody in this chat room. And you wrote in quotations, fatigue. After I said, Ned is part of that little brand of people that's online talking about black fatigue. And what did you do? You wrote it in the chat room. After you say that, and coincidentally, you trashy motherfucker, nothing you have to say after that matters. See, what you did was you attempted to come in here and hijack the conversation and take it off what I was talking about, this black woman is 111 years old, and instead you wanted to come in here. And a lot of people, they'll come in the podcast, they'll be like, no, this is not orderly. Then take your ass over to NBC, MSNBC. Take your ass over to CNN if you want order. This is the motherfucking internet. And this bitch just interrupted me on some shit. I'm not your motherfucking bro. You understand what I'm saying? Don't ever call me your bro after you just said black fatigue. I hope your fucking mother get hit by a car. Got me? I'm not your bro. And you're not white. You're Indian, aren't you? Now, what's your nationality? Hurry up. Watch this. What's your nationality now? You sure do have a hard time of answering questions. You wouldn't answer the fact of talking about the fatigue shit. Now you just said, okay, bro. What's your nationality, Ned? Tell us. Come on, Ned. What's wrong? Okay, I got you, Chunk. What's your nationality, Ned? You said I said something about India, so I'm thinking that you probably some type of Middle Eastern or Indian. Yeah, that's where it was. Yeah. Okay. I know that type too. So Ned, see, I don't like bringing down the psychology of these motherfuckers, and I'll probably have to start this over now. First of all, let's get rid of Ned's punk ass. Because Ned is a liar. Yeah, see, I just broke down that motherfucker where he ain't had nothing to say. That's how y'all have to do that shit. Y'all sitting on these podcasts trying to reason with these motherfuckers. Nah, fuck that motherfucker. And nigga, I'll beat your motherfucking brains in. These people will kill you. Do you understand me? People like him, they will kill y'all. Somebody got to tell y'all this so y'all don't fucking get it. Y'all sitting around here giggling with these motherfuckers, arguing with your own or whatever, and there's niggas like Ned on the fucking internet. You only donate your attention, you only donate money to motherfuckers that's gossiping about people that look just like you. Meanwhile, there's motherfuckers like Ned that come in the chat rooms and sit there and they mingle. Now, if he's Indian, let me tell you something. India is so fucking filthy that they have to have, and anybody want to challenge me on this, you could challenge me on it. That nigga was somewhere from the Middle East, so he was either Indian. He said, you said something about India, that's what gave him away. Probably Indian British. Anyway, listen here. In India, Bombay, Bamia, and there's 2 other locations. The fucking water is so fucking polluted over there that they literally, and I do mean literally, have to bring in fresh drinking water on trucks every day for the poor. Anybody want to argue with me about that shit? Now, you're not talking to a dummy. Anybody want to argue with me about that shit right now? Let's go. That's how filthy your water is, from pollution, from you urinating in it, defecating in it. And in some cases, these motherfuckers will go bathe in that same fucking water. Trash bottles, spit, everything in the water. They'll go bathe in it. You don't want to you don't want me to get into how nasty motherfuckers are over there. And if you don't believe me, go Google the shit right now. I don't need to Google. I know that for a fucking fact. India is fucking filthy. From their street food to trash being anywhere. You think the favelas in fucking Brazil are disgusting? Shit, that's a fucking, that's the Holiday Inn compared to the shit they got over there. Feces all in the street. See, the favelas in Brazil are run by the gangs. They ain't gonna let it get but so dirty. They keep the shit in order. I see they cut fish with their. It's all kinds of shit. It's all kinds of stuff that goes on there, and people know it. People know it. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. I ain't had a like in like 30 minutes. What's wrong? Y'all don't like people that look like me talking about stuff like this? What's the problem? If you don't like me, then leave. You know what I'm saying? But at least hit the like button before you leave. I appreciate it. What I'm trying to explain to you is Ned was the antithesis of a mentality. And this is why I went in on him, and y'all missed it. Ned was the antithesis of something that was before in this country, and which is why the hate that you seen that happen with these people in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with this town being bombed down, it was the same antithesis of that. See, let me tell you something about Indian folks. A lot of Indian people, Bengali people, we got a lot of Bengali people that live around here too, especially the southern ones in India, and then a heavy majority of the Bengali population in this period. Bengali people, and don't you ever make this mistake about it or about Indians, they do not consider themselves black. And I mean this in the utmost way I can explain it to you. I mean, not even as a genome, it gets that deep. I'm not talking about equating to American black or anything like that. I mean, these people do not believe that they have any black DNA. Mind you, their skin is copper black. There are some Bengali and Indian people that have what you would call coarse hair. Um, if you notice, most of the silky number 9 that y'all bitches get, it don't come from Brazil. It comes from India. You saw this depicted in Good Hair by Chris Rock. Y'all should go watch that movie if you've never seen it before. Good Hair by Chris Rock. Go watch that movie. You understand how that whole industry works and how they cut niggas out of the industry and y'all put y'all most money into aiding foreigners. Y'all motherfuckers literally sending their kids to motherfucking Yale, Harvard, and everywhere else with your motherfucking hair products. That's why I say we need to check the bitches. All right, bitch, you want to wear weave, it's fine. But stop buying it from these motherfuckers. Buy it from motherfucking Ray Ray and Pookie's motherfucking hair surplus down there on 34th Fifth Ave. You understand? That's 34th and 5th Ave, bitch. Make a left first. You can park in the back. You understand? Go get it from Nene in there. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all going to buy from Miss Chen. You know what I'm saying? Miss Chen to send her both of her sons to motherfucking what's her name. Thank you very much. Shisha. Shisha. Anyway, listen. My point is, B, people like that motherfucker that's came in here, whatever, they'll do the same thing. And these people that are brown, they consider themselves Indian Caucasians. I swear to God to you. There's a group of Africans that consider themselves this too. African Caucasians, Indian Caucasians. Guys, can you double tap the screen and hit the like button? I appreciate it. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. And a lot of these people, they have a contingency to be on the side of whatever is oppressing them. Mind you, these people have been formerly oppressed themselves. The British stayed in India, I don't know, maybe 200 years, 150 years or something like that. The British stayed in China for almost 100, 150 years or whatever the case may be. And what you'll find is the remnants of these people as they left. They want to get closer and closer and closer as they can to whiteness. If you go to China right now, and this is no lie, this is why a lot of people prefer going to Japan versus China. And China and Japan, they kind of dig into it too. There's a profound attention to whiteness. If you go to India, there's a fond attention to whiteness. This is remnants of leftover from colonialism. You understand what I'm saying? You'll find the same thing in Africa too. What you don't understand is a lot of these countries that have black populations. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all say, oh, well, they should be with us or whatever. They don't have the constitution to be so because many of them are not educated. That's for one. You have to be educated to understand past, present, and future. Past, present, and future. You have to be educated in this, but you have to understand what you actually are acknowledging. You have to understand actually what's the implements of what you are acknowledging. You understand what I'm saying? And it takes it takes more than a feeble mind to do such. So say you tell somebody tomorrow, and like I mentioned earlier, Judge Samarinian, who was post judge, he was actually running, him and his family were actually running away from Idi Amin in Africa. And with his atrocities he did there. If you don't know nothing about Idi Amin, I suggest you go watch The Last King of Scotland for some entertainment purposes. You'll get a guest, and then hopefully you'll do, a little bit more diligence in looking up what he was about and what he was from. Yeah, people that you would think would be part of the diaspora, or whatever the case may be. And I'm now starting to tie this together of the people that you're getting online that are talking like old Ned was talking. See, Ned is a minority. And if Ned walked into any room, he'd be considered a nigger until he could get his most point of brown nosing across to everybody. This is how a lot of these motherfuckers operate, by brown nosing. This is why I hate when I see black women brown nosing, because what you're doing at that point is you're acknowledging the fact I'm willing to intake and digest and invest into white supremacy and separatism, even if it means the course of the family structure, even if it means the course of the future of my own race. There's a saying. How's it go? Motivate the race, improve the race. How's it go? Entonces, ¿sabes? Pues la gente latino ahí es muy claro, pero la sangre en la niños como advance the race. You know where they took that from? You see, I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know. But la gente latino, entonces, ¿sabes? La gente latino, entonces, saben claro que no, yo hablo ahí. It's basically like, keep it white. Because the what's the name advances. Let me tell you what this ideology comes about. Because I gotta explain this to people that don't know. This ideology actually comes from Hitler. in Trevejo in the Dominican Republic. I try to tell people how Trevejo was like the second coming in the Dominican Republic of Hitler. He tried to basically eradicate the whole race in the Dominican Republic and make it mostly en blanco, tú sabes, claro, white. You understand? You speak beautifully Spanish and you're kidding me. Congratulations. Sí, no, claro. Yo soy la cubano, la hice. But thank you. Gracias, manita. It's oh, para mí, so Silvia. Silvia. ¿Tú eres la mujer? Silvia. Sí, Silvia. Um, when you have, I want to explain it to you a little bit better. When you have Cervejo, you have other people that were in Caribbean countries. And there's a difference between Latin America and I keep trying to tell you Caribbean Latinos. Let me give you an example. If you live in the New York City tri-state, which you've been around all your life, if you're over 35 years old, it's been Dominicans. Oh, ok, está bien, está bien. Para mí eso porque la llama ahí, tú sabes, Silvio, Silvia, entonces sabes, los dos ahí, eso, yo no sé en la mente ahí, para mí son la mujer, salud. Bandición, tú sabes, mujer. Anyway, I want to say this to you guys the right way. You have people throughout all the Latin community that are very different. What you have in like New York and Jersey and Connecticut is what's considered Caribbean Latinos. Okay, these are people from Puerto Rico. These are people from the Dominican Republic. These are people from Cuba. These are people from Panama. These are people from there, right? Jamaica. Jamaica has Spanish population too, so does Belize. So these are people that are part of the Caribbean Latin community, right? Then you have Latin Americans, which are very different people. They don't even share the same what's the name with people, and you'll see it in the Latin community how like especially if you're Latino, half Latino, whatever you are, half, but you'll see it for yourself and you'll understand. La historia es diferente, entonces sabes, creo, pero la gente ahí, entonces sabes, son todos jíbaros, jíbaras, pero la campos, entonces sabes, esa toda la gente, latino, la americana. Americano, para mí eso. So you get these people that are very, 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 very different than the people y'all used to with Dominicans, Cubans, whatever. These are two totally different sets of people. So they think very different. People in Latin America, in some cases, have never ever in their life seen somebody that looked like me, better than somebody look like me and speak Spanish. You understand what I'm saying? Um, but people in the Latin Caribbean, I'm a regular person. I had a white man yesterday when I was, what's the name? I was in the grocery store, and it was funny as hell. He started speaking to me in Spanish, and I'm like, I understand English too. I had to say that to him. There was a old tia that was in the grocery store that I helped yesterday, and she spoke nothing but Spanish. And I had black people walking past me like, yo, how the fuck, da 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 da, and they were, speaking to. It happens all the time, so it's not a big deal. I don't do it to show off. I do it because, tú sabes, esa toda la gente ahí. So for a minute here, I was sitting back and I was just like, yo, you know what? I know people don't understand this, and that's why they don't understand. Okay, yeah, there's Dominican gangs, there's Puerto Rican gangs or whatever in New York, but for the most part, niggas just, deal with what they deal with. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they got going on, that's what they deal with. Guys, please make sure y'all hit that like button while y'all in here. It means a lot. Just double tap the screen. That's all you got to do. Just double tap the screen. I appreciate it. And we got gangs in New York that are Puerto Rican, Dominican, whatever. But they usually just deal with their own stuff. It's part of the charter. Just deal with your own stuff. But and same thing with Bloods and Crips in New York. They pretty much that, yeah, whatever happened, yeah, shit happens and people get accidentally popped and everything like that. There's no excuse for that. But what I mean is they don't regularly go out just hunting for what's the name because it's in the charter. You understand what I'm saying? So that ain't David. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all know what I mean. So what I mean is you got two sets of different Latinos in America now. One group that is extremely racist, and one group that is kind of racist, but in certain different elements. I'll give you an example of Trevejo in the Dominican Republic, and how he tried to eradicate all the black population. Trevejo, who was the president, used to walk up to you with soldiers, and he'd be like, say this word or say this word, and what's the name in English. And depending on how you said the word in English, your pronunciation, whether your pronunciation was Spanish or your pronunciation was French, he would eradicate you right there on the spot. Him or his soldiers. There's actual pictures of him assassinating people. And he did this to rid himself outside of the Haitians that were in the Dominican Republic and who he felt would darken the race and not advance the race. You have to understand the history of Dominicans. Dominicans in the Dominican Republic come from, people say, Vicente, Vicente, Vicente. Mm. It was the German Dominican friars who placed him and the island. They owned the island, first of all. It was all that money to pay for the ships to come over and all that shit. Y'all don't be realizing this thing. Y'all think this is captains just hop on the ships and they just no. They are commenced to come on the ships, meaning there's other investors, just like it goes on Wall Street nowadays. The same thing went in the shipping business. They had other investors, and the investors would say, "Oh, sure, we'll give pence to him to travel. Da 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 da. I will provide spices. I will provide sugar. I will provide salt. I will provide salted pork." And then the motherfucker would take haul and shit. Now, how the fuck do I know this? Well, I used to live in this place. It used to be called the Whaling fucking City. And I learned a lot about goddamn boats. All right. Let me put it to you this way. We have in Connecticut, if you know the story of what's it called? Amistad. Where I used to live at, they now have what's called Amistad's Walk or whatever. But it's actually where the boat, the Amistad, which I want to heighten, was a Spaniard slave ship commissioned by Queen Isabella. This slave ship actually pulled into port right there here in Connecticut. The trial itself that you see in the movie The Amistad took place in New Haven, Connecticut, which are an hour apart from where the train, I mean, excuse me, where the ship came in at to where they had the trial at. The customs house, still where they had the first trial, the initial trial before they moved into New Haven or whatever, still exists in the town I used to live in Connecticut here. This is a fact. They went as far as to even pay honor to it by calling it Amistad's Landing. Now, if you don't believe me, go look it up right now. Go Google it. You'll see what I'm talking about. I tell no lies. I don't get off on telling lies. I tell the truth. That's why I don't make that much money on here. You understand what I'm saying? Like, y'all see my Cash App up there or people telling people to hit the like button. They're not going to do that for a guy like me. Nah, they're looking for a guy that got all the gossip. Gossip and bitch ass man. Sorry. So if I let you down on your expectations, peace. Yeah. Don't ever, let me tell y'all something. Don't ever take these subscribers more seriously than they are. Watch their movements. If they can't hit the like button, they won't hit the Cash App. Trust me, they're here to funnel something for you. So as future bloggers, make sure if you see there's not less support, put brakes on what you say, meaning don't give them all what you know, da 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 da. I probably give these motherfuckers maybe 15 to 20%. I don't even say 15%. I probably give them 10% of what I know because they're not going to support you if you're talking like this. You understand what I'm saying? They've been programmed and conditioned to listen to nothing, especially Black Americans, nothing but gossip. You understand what I'm saying? They have been filtered this. And my prowess, sorry to say, can't supersede a woman. This biologically, I can't do it. So most of the men, they're more adherent to women when they're talking because of the pure simple fact versus men, which they should naturally be adherent to when talking. Because most of these men, you have to understand, they were raised by women. They never had a brother around. They never had a football to throw with anybody. They were raised by women. So their adornment to women is very different than other men. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm starting to notice that more and more as I get older. I'm like, it's a whole bunch of things. And I know I'm crossing the board here, but this all goes in together. And then I want to keep reading about Miss Viola. Black American men, a lot of them have been raised by single mothers. And so they take on the attributes of women because they've been around women all their life, a lot of them. So a lot of these guys, like, and what I've noticed, and a lot of Latin men too, both of them, as they get older, especially when they get around their 20s and you start seeing them try to develop their personality, you'll start seeing, not all of them, you can definitely tell the difference. But a lot of Black dudes, they'll start like reacting and talking feminine, very feminine. And you'll notice it and you'll say to yourself, damn, that's kind of like how a woman does. Like, I'll give you an example, right? I'm going to read your comment in a second here. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button. Make sure y'all support the Cash App as well. I want to do something for y'all today. That depends on what the Cash App looks like later on. If y'all don't want to do that, that's fine. I don't stress people for money on here no more. I really don't. Because like I said, when it comes to Black Americans, I'm not gonna get supported. They're gonna get their money to Tariq Nasheed. They're gonna get their money to Umar. That nigga was able to collect $1.5 million and had everybody voucher for him. You understand what I'm saying? And subsequently, he fucked up the donation game because now they look at men like me and they like, oh, well, I can't get him nothing because he a man of color. And the black dudes, they're never going to donate to you. I can count on my hand 5 black men that donate. There should be tons of them because I speak up for them, and there's none. They're not going to donate to me. They don't like the way I talk. You see, they want you to get up on here, girl. Let me tell you, girl, what happened with Meg the Stallion, girl. They want to hear shit like that every day. This is what they're brains have been acquiesced to. They're part of a matrix system and don't even realize it. And as you try to break out the matrix, some niggas is gonna be like, what's better than this? Just like they were on the plantation. There used to be niggas that wanted to escape the plantation, and niggas be like, well, what's better than this? We don't want to leave nowhere. Master Johnson feed us. Master Johnson good to us. Look at the house he gave us. He pay us a little money and then why we won't leave here? Master Johnson is now YouTube. This the big house, motherfucker. I don't get it. This the big house. They'll never get it until it's too late. They'll kill you niggas before y'all figure it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because I can't believe they become that adorned to fucking money and views and clicks that y'all don't see what's happening to y'all. They're putting you back in chains. And they're using the women to tend all the niggas to come on back up to the plantation. You know. Single parent. You had a baby by yourself. Don't worry about it, Clara Jean. We take care of you. Come on up to the big house. We got you. That boy acting up with yours again, Clara Jean. Send him on up to the big house. We got you. Send him on up to the big house. Most people don't understand the education that you're giving, comprehending and analyzing their brain. Damn, that's deep. Mm. Damn. Sylvia Goodman said, most people don't understand the education you're given to comprehend it and analyze in their own brains. You're about the 50th to 20th person that's told me that this year. That is crazy. And you know, I'm trying to help them. And you see how they'll turn on me? That's why I say the stuff I say. They'll turn on me. They won't support me. Sylvia, if you're still here, they won't support me financially. I was down at the Diddy trial, and I was down there before other people. I'll just give you a perfect example. I was at the Diddy trial there before other people were. I'm talking about months before. I was there for the beginning of it. And when I was down there, I would tell black people in my chat room, I'm not dissing black people, I'm just saying out a fact. I would tell black American people, I'd be like, yo, y'all just donate $10 so I can get lunch and coffee or whatever, right? I say, yo, it's expensive because I live in Connecticut. I said, it's expensive down here. So, you know, and I would break down to them how much a McDonald's meal would cost. I said, they got McDonald's meals like $14 down there. And none of them would donate a dime to me. The other night, I was at Trump Tower, did a piece up there. I'm welcomed up there. Not everybody's welcomed up there, and they know that. And so I was up there at nighttime too, on a late night. So like I said, I'm welcomed up there. And I've been going up there for years. I went up there and did a piece. I was talking about for black people and rights of black people. Not one motherfucker donated a nickel to me. And they all use the same excuse. Oh, I'm having hard time. They're lying. I've heard motherfuckers have that same excuse for 6 years. I did not just show up here yesterday. So what they do is they're very fixed on who they donate to. So what they usually like to do is they like to donate to people that make them feel good, but at the same time feeding them bullshit. So like I said, with the Umar Johnson, he talked real slick. He had a heightened voice. And niggas like that usually, if you were a street nigga, you could pick a nigga out like that. Oh, that nigga hustling niggas. You know what I'm saying? But for people that are unfamiliar with that type of lifestyle, to them, he's a saint. You understand what I'm saying? This is how you can have a nigga that go from being a gangbanger in California to now moving out to Rancho Cucamonga. Oh, that's Pastor Johnson. No, that's Lil Murder. Pastor Johnson, that's a little murder. That's a little murder blue stop right there. What you talking about? That's my man's. No, that's Pastor Johnson. He's been pastor out here for 5 years out here in Rancho Cucamonga. Yeah. You understand? So you get people that how can I say it? They, I over mentioned about Tariq Nasheed, you know what I'm saying? K Flex, that's what they used to call you, right? When you in the documentary of Michael Moore as a pimp, I mean, that is ultimate cooning and tap dancing right there, if you ask me. Go watch that clip with him and Michael Moore. I was like, damn, man, there's some step and fetch and shit. This nigga, like, he was playing a pimp, like, and was downtrodden black women in the video. Niggas forgot that. They forgave that. They was like, nah, it's okay. King Flex, he on here now. You know what I'm saying? He for the people. Da 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 da. I told bitches when the shit went down with doing the EBT crisis, I like to call it. Now the nigga raised up and said, yo, let's get a fund together. Let's start a GoFundMe for the girls and make sure they eat. Now one of them did that. That's why somebody dropped out when I said that. That's why I said people like me, they don't like people. I don't belong here. This is not my space. I belong in a floor in front of 30 to 40,000 people that is intelligent as I am, or I don't even like to use the word intelligent, as clever as I am, and they understand, because right there down below when somebody wrote, most people don't understand the education that you're given to comprehend and analyze it in their own brains. And I said, damn, they can't. That's deep. They can't analyze what I'm saying to them. And I don't know any other way to put it. And I think the reason I'm talking the way I'm talking is because my time in the music industry and shit like that, I see things a whole different way. Like you guys that are podcasters, y'all be trying to guess what we saw and guess what we went through. And it's so totally different. It's like y'all live in a fantasy world of shit y'all make up in your heads, to be honest with you. Like the shit they said about Puff, the shit they said about other stars, I'm like, that ain't true. That nigga ain't have nothing like that going on, but they'll have you believe that, whatever. That's sad. But at least Sylvia, she knew what I was trying to do. I'm trying to save you guys, and you never got it. And for that, I get condemned instead. I got 30,000 subscribers. You see I only got 11 people in there? That's crazy, right? 30,000. Even YouTube, they don't even want me to let you guys know what's up. That's why they keep doing what they're doing with my views. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Just give me a second. Let me share this. You keep marching on. Keep marching on. You keep marching on. Guys, I'm going to end this, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to start this over. Sylvia, Mark, and the rest of you guys, make sure you come back here in about 5 minutes, all right? I think I see what's going on.